My name is Hans Langeveld from Longfield Gardens, and I'm going to show you here how to plant lilies. Lilies are sun lovers, so you like to plant them in the full sun, or they can have a little partly shade. But this is a very sunny spot. As the sun travels that way, this spot pretty much has sun the full day. I'm going to plant two different varieties here. Asiatic lilies. Their varieties are Tiny Ghost and Tiny Bee. These stay genetically short, so they won't grow taller than about this in height. So they won't interfere with the tree, and they'll basically outgrow these shrubs around it. And I'm going to mix two varieties together for a better show in the garden. And as you can see, there is already sprouts on these lilies. That doesn't really hurt it, but as long as you make sure that the sprout does not break off, because the flower is already in there, and once we plant it, it will grow and come out in a couple of weeks. At the stem of this bulb there is small roots coming out, and they're called stem roots. And you want to make sure that those stem roots are well underneath the soil, because they'll give the stem stability once it grows. And for the taller varieties, it will give it enough stability so they don't need to be staked. For lilies, it doesn't really matter if you plant them early in the spring or later in the spring. Lilies can actually resist frost and the cold, so you can plant them anytime in the spring when you want. What you want to do is, when you plant them, you want to make sure that, of course, the sprout is faced upwards. And you want to dig a hole that's about 6 inches deep, so the stem roots are well underneath the soil line. Like, I prepared a flower bed here that's about 6 inches deep. I'm going to plant these two varieties together, and when I plant, I'm going to plant them about 6 inches apart from center to center. If you have bigger varieties, taller varieties like OT lilies or Oriental lilies that grow a little bigger, then you want to go a little bit further apart, up to about 8 inches. You can plant lilies not only in flower beds, but you can also plant them in containers, along sidewalks. They're very nice plants to grow anywhere in your garden. Now that I arrange them in the flower bed, I'm gonna carefully replace the soil, and then they can start growing. The later you plant them in the spring, the faster they're gonna grow. So these will actually come above the ground in about 2 or 3 weeks. And as you can see, the entire sprout is underneath the soil line. Now that we've planted these lilies here, we don't really have to do anything. There's no need right now to water them. You don't need to fertilize them throughout the summer. I would say until about 6 to 8 weeks from now. And then in the fall, you just leave them in the ground so they can grow again next spring. My name is Hans Langeveld, and I'm from Longfield Gardens.